when I came to work in about 2004, there was already an effort then to try to get some ethanol plants to Ohio. We didn't have any, and so it really became this effort by the Corn Growers Association at the time. We weren't corn and wheat then; we were just corn growers, and there was this desire to say, how do we bring some of these Western ethanol plants? How do we get them to build here in Ohio? And the hook was, we're closer to the population on the East Coast. We have lots of population around us. We could sell a lot of fuel from here. Wouldn't it be wise for you to locate here? And one of the first ones that we started talking to was Poet.
Oh yeah, I can remember numerous meetings, and honestly, at the time, our executive director was Mike Wagner.
Wagner, yeah,
And
Wags.
he worked tirelessly trying to get ethanol. I mean, that's all really he worked on, was getting ethanol into the state of Ohio. And I remember numerous meetings with Jeff Broyne from Poet, and he came and, like you said, he's like, I think he finally realized that, look how close we are to all this population and all these cars. There's more cars in Delaware County than there is in half the state of Iowa.
Well, so Jeff Broyne
it's
comes
crazy.
Jeff Broyne comes from the state of South Dakota. There's maybe 800,000 people there.
Right.
There's 12 million people here.
Yes.
So yeah, it was something pretty attractive to somebody that wanted large volumes of fuel. So, but I can remember they had these maps all over the place in our office because they had these specifications. They wanted rail lines to be crossing. They wanted two major rail lines.
Oh, yeah.
They had all these specs to, here would be an ideal spot. I remember the first one we did this. The Checkoff funded an economic analysis, I think, of the whole state to say if you had one ideal place, where would you build it? Do you remember where it was? Leipzig, Ohio. That was it. That was the ideal place to put an ethanol plant, was Leipzig. From there, obviously, there were several others that were
Yeah,
identified.
and there was several others. And you think about the other thing there is, one of the things I remember in one of those studies, will there be enough corn? Because of our population, that's also limits the number of acres. So it goes back to the research that we talked about, not only funded research from the marketing program on ethanol, but also in the genetics programs, increasing the bushels per acre, because we were able to get enough bushels for those ethanol plants. And that was one thing Jeff had concerned about, was would there be enough corn?
Yeah, we had to convince him. We started drawing circles around those
I remember
sites
there was
to
like
find
5
out
circles on each
what's
one.
the production right inside there, though. It amazes me that farmers sometimes forget it was this checkoff program that brought this ethanol market to this state, and that is something that can never be forgotten. And it was really people like your dad who served on our early boards that started to have that vision. They didn't really see it while he was still on the board. It was after he was done. When you were on the board at the time, that's when we started getting ethanol plants. 2008 was when we got our first plants here.
Yeah, and I think producers, I've talked to several of them, and producers that aren't intimately involved with the board and with the association and the program sometimes question that checkoff. And I can tell you, I tell them all the time, that checkoff is one of the most important things that has happened in Ohio agriculture probably ever. I can remember once we used to lobby, going back and forth, that the RFS is our farm bill. I remember we used to say that to each other. I mean, and that's how important it was.
What a statement. And that there was a farm bill that was being debated about the same time as the RFS.
Yep.
I can remember them asking questions. Why do you need the RFS? Don't you have a farm bill? Well,
We know why now.
Exactly.